Namaste everyone. In today's video, we're going to focus on Muni Patanjali's Yoga Sutra 3.10. Now in this particular Yoga Sutra, Muni Patanjali is talking about how we need to deepen the impression of the Chitta Vritti Nirodha in order to keep moving forward in our meditational practice. So let's take a good look at this sutra, start breaking it up word by word and understanding it even better. So the sutra itself goes, Tasya Prashanta Vahita Sanskarat. Alright, so this is the sutra itself. Now let's break it up word by word and understand what it's trying to tell us. The first word over here is Tasya. Tasya means it's. So as we know now, all sutras are like a continuation, so it's referring to the previous sutra when it's saying it's, and it's talking specifically about the Nirodha Parinama that we discussed in the previous sutra. Then coming to the next word, which is Prashant. Prashant refers to something that is just very peaceful, very calming, very relaxed. So that is Prashant. It's also a very common Indian name. So you might hear of people with the name Prashant. That's how common the word is. And then coming to the next word, it is Vahita. Vahita refers to something that has the property of flowing or movement or is able to maintain the flow state. So that is Vahita. And then coming to the next word, it is Sanskarat. So it's talking about the sanskar, the impressions, the impact of the karma that is created within our consciousness. So what this sutra is trying to tell us overall is basically that when the Nirodha Parinam happens and the Chitta kind of experiences that tiny moment of understanding that, oh, this vritti has gone away, the new Chitta Vritti Nirodha state has been reached, that state of understanding needs to be prolonged, because otherwise what happens is we are just for a few seconds experiencing that gap in thinking, but it's not something that is being extended to large periods of time. So in this sutra, we're being told that through practice, we need to extend from that kshan. It needs to become a more flowing thing, something effortless that happens for even longer than usual. So now that we know the overall meaning, let's go even deeper into the sutra and start understanding it a little bit further. So essentially what the sutra is telling us, that this Nirodha Parinam, which is the Chitta Vritti Nirodha, this complete stoppage of the thought waves of the thinking, and that gap that is appearing in our consciousness, that needs to be expanded over a longer period of time so that we start to go into that flow state even more deeply. Now this is something that only comes with practice. And if you remember in the first chapter itself, Muni Patanjali had given us two main techniques for this Chitta Vritti Nirodha. He had said the first one is Abhyas and or Vairagya, which means practice and detachment. Now, since detachment is much more of a mental attitude, it's something that we have to cultivate internally, we can't really repeat it. It's not quantifiably repeatable because it's just a state of being, a mental attitude that we need to adopt. So what becomes repeatable is the abhyas, the practice. And here it refers to the abhyas of the ashtangas, which we studied, which are yam, niyam, asan, pranayama, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. So all of these 8, when practiced continuously, are going to produce a particular impact. And that is what we're looking for when we say we should do abhyas of the ashtangas. Now with this daily practice, what is going to start happening is it becomes effortless over a period of time. Just like the conditioning with any other activity, the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature, muscle memory. Your body remembers how to do it and it just happens effortlessly. So it's a lot of years of practice and technique formation that finally now it looks like magic. You're able to do it so well. People might be like, how are you doing it so effortlessly? But it's because of the years and years of rigorous practice and focus and concentration. Let's take an example. When we're doing a particular yoga asana, such as for example when we're taking our leg behind the head, initially it sounds like super challenging, like how am I going to be able to do that? But then over a period of time, the muscles in your glute region, the muscles in your hip joint and in and around your hip area as well as the thighs, they become strong enough, flexible enough and supple enough to make that movement possible. And then over a period of time, it's like a no-brainer. You're able to do it so easily and it's so easy for you to do it. So that effortlessness took you years and years of abhyas and practice to be able to eventually reach there. And therefore, this is a very, very important point to keep in mind. Now, why are we discussing this? Because when we're thinking about this elongation of the Nirodha Parinama and we're thinking about how do I maintain that flow state for longer, how do I stabilize myself in that state, the simple answer is practice. The more that we practice and it becomes second nature to us, especially the practice of the meditational stages, dharana, dhyan and samadhi, then eventually it will just become effortless and we'll be able to hold those moments of chitta vritti nirodha for longer and longer periods of time. So through that, eventually it'll just become effortless and you won't need to consciously be like, hey, I need to hold this for longer. So what Muni Patanjali is also trying to indicate is that when you're sitting in meditation and you experience or you become aware that now there's no active thought, there's no thinking, just thinking that is a thought itself. You know what I mean? Like if you become aware intellectually of what is happening, it's going to create a thought. You're going to literally tell yourself, hey, now I'm not thinking, and that itself is a thought. So something else needs to happen here, a more intuitive process, not related to the intellectual thinking, but instead related more and more to the subtle realm of moving into the process without needing to come back to the thought and being like, oh, I'm doing it, you know? So that again takes time to cultivate. It takes a long process to kind of get there, and it's just something we have to be patient with. And that's why through this sutra, Muni Patanjali is reminding us that just a moment of experience of chitta vritti nirodh or reduction in thinking is not enough. As a yoga sadhak, we need to expand that and make that one moment a very long period of time, which will happen through abhyas, which makes our meditation effortless, which effortlessly takes us into the subtle realms. So this is the meaning of Yoga Sutra 3.10. I hope you found this video helpful and you've been able to learn a lot from it. If you have, please don't forget to leave your comments, thoughts and suggestions in the comments box below. And also don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying our videos, because we release new videos every single week, and keep supporting us through social media on Instagram, Twitter and LinkedIn. Now we look forward to seeing you in the next video, which is going to come very soon. So until then, take care, keep practicing, and we hope to see you in the next one. Namaste.